Yeah. Talk to these kids also, Lonzo. Something that's also easy to mess up that can also ruin your life and prevent you from buying a home, buying a car, hell, buying a cell phone. But you know the importance of keeping your credit, good. You know what I mean? Talk to these kids about that too, man.
I just walked out of my house, uh, talking to my son. He just got a
Good
job.
looking out, Marlon.
Marlon, much love to you, Doc. I just left out the house right before I sat down in my chair and was talking to my son. My son got a new job working at T-Mobile. He's a salesman at T-Mobile. And then they got these special accounts. You can get 5, 6, 7 phones on there at one time, blah, blah, blah. And it may not seem like a lot of money right now, but when you got 4, 5, 6, 7 phones on your bill, and it may not be, but I don't know, $50 a month, $100 a month, whatever the case may be, and you are the main person on that account, that bill come due, them other folks, they ain't gonna find them. Because actually how I know, okay? So I told them, first thing you do, if somebody asks you to co-sign, understand this. If somebody asks you to co-sign, that means they messed up their credit some way, form, or fashion. In most cases, not all, but most cases. Which means if they'll mess up their credit, why would they mess up yours? They don't respect credit. Okay, they don't respect it. So why would they not mess up yours? And the last thing you want to do is be responsible for somebody else's situation. I did that for a very popular, very rich rapper now, and it cost me. It was a nightmare because they ran out of money, and I had to cover it until I couldn't no more. Then meanwhile, both of our credit was ruined until they paid it off, and that's what yeah. Okay, I'm looking at they didn't fact check me on my
Yeah, unfortunately I don't think he knows what he's talking about. Maybe 1% of the IRS workers make what this dude's talking about, but my day job also revolves around knowing salaries, and I know you're correct, Lonzo. These guys are making between 50, 100 tops if they're lucky.
If they're a manager, yeah. They some of them make money, but everybody don't. But again, if it was all that, people would be talking about, becoming IRS agents. What I'm hearing, as you know, I'm president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce, and I'm that being the president of that organization. I'm find myself in all kind of rooms, all kind of meetings, and as I listen, it seems to me that there are a lot of jobs going unfilled. Everybody's shorthanded. From the police department to City Hall. And a lot of these places make some decent money, but they said that most people can't pass the background check. Felonies, drugs, whatever the case may be. And that's something I think is just as important as taking care of your taxes and your credit is, man, keeping your ass out of trouble. Because that shit will haunt you a felony will haunt you for the rest of your life. Will literally haunt you. I know brothers that were teaching school, got caught up and on some small weed drug situations, and they got to do something else now. You can't do it no more. And it's just amazing. It's amazing that some of the things like a drug case, I don't know, a drug case can stop you from being a teacher. Now, I understand if you rob the bank, you can't be an accountant or you can't work at the bank. I understand that. But some things that people prohibit you from doing with a felony don't really make sense. I'm one of the things I'm trying to work with Compton right now, and is to find out if Compton is a felony-friendly city, because we need workers. Fixing potholes has nothing to do with a felony. And I know Caltrans, you can have a felony all day long. As long as you didn't kill nobody with a Caltrans vehicle, you pretty much go get a job. And that's how you get redemption in the community. So we have to look at some of these things that are holding people back in the community, like felonies. And like I said before, I know folks that had a job, went to jail, went back to the job, working for Caltrans. No bullshit.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the chat, and definitely, just all these kids out there listening, don't mess with your credit. Don't mess with the IRS. They are relentless. But let's move on, Lonzo. I want to talk about probably the biggest story this week. We lost O.J. Simpson.
The
Now let's
truth.
talk about OJ, man. Let's go back all the way before the controversy and everything, because I only knew him from the Naked Gun movies and the Hertz commercials, jumping over suitcases and shit. I didn't follow him when he was a football player, one of the greatest in football history. Talk to me about what you remember about the Juice back in his football days.
Man, the Juice was like the super Negro, man. He did everything. He's my sister's age. He died, he was 74, 73, 74. So he's a little older than me. But it was his impact on the world showed people that brother had a chance to cross over. Okay. He was that dude. And he was with all the folks that folks wasn't with, put it that way. He was with everybody that nobody was with. He had a career that was so unique, especially when he started doing the commercials for Hertz. That was just the shit, man. That was just the shit. He played for Buffalo most of the career, which wasn't all that great. But he made it in Hollywood. He was one of the first few guys, him and Jim Brown and a few other guys, they were able to transition into movies. And like you said, he was a part of the Naked Gun series, which was some of the dumbest shit back in the day, but it was funny as heck. But it was, you couldn't do them. You can't do them no more now. You can't. They wouldn't let them fly no more.
That type of comedy ain't flying, man.
It's still funny today, but you'd have people out protesting like some bitch. Hey, y'all doing too much. But yeah, he was the shit back in the day, man. And when he got caught up, nobody wanted to believe that he did that. When he got caught up with the situation, and for him to beat the case was a major movement for black folks in general. Whether he was guilty or not, he won. And the debate still lingers. And depending on who you ask, he did it. Some depending on who you ask, he couldn't have done it. And it's one of them things that we'll never know now for sure.
Let's go back to that time, Lonzo. I remember I was with my girlfriend. We were watching the NBA Finals. The Knicks were playing, and then they cut into this slow speed chase on the freeway. White Bronco that OJ is allegedly in. Not allegedly, he was in the back. AC Alec Collins was driving. What do you remember about that day? What were you doing? How did you feel? Talk to me about that specific day.
Man, I did not take my eyes off the TV all day long. I watched the trial every day. I've always worked in my house, work from home. So to have a TV somewhere nearby my office or my desk was a regular occurrence. And I got TVs everywhere. I got TVs all over my house right now. And I'm sitting in there and I'm watching the trial in the morning. I'm watching the glove situation. And when before they arrested him, that was the one thing that made me suspicious. But because he did such a slow speed chase, he wasn't like he was trying to get away, like he wanted some attention. He knew they was coming to get him, but he wanted some attention. He wanted to do it his way. And that right there was one of those things that if he had really done it, he was OJ. He could have got out of here that night, okay? According to, I think if I'm mistaken, he was to Chicago that night anyway, came back because the situation happened. He could have kept on going. So, the whole thing, man, it was a victory for black folks in general. OJ won, Johnny won. Johnny beat everybody. Johnny beat everybody, man. Dude, that was a major legal accomplishment. Johnny Cochran beat the whole LA DA team. Him, Shapiro, and the other dude. I can't think of his name.
Chris Darton, Marsha Clark.
On Johnny's side, it was F. Lee Bailey.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Kardashian daddy and OJ.
Okay.
Yeah, Corey's daddy. Corey's daddy, I should say. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, all right. So take me back to the trial, man. I remember I wasn't following it. I was in high school, so my mind was way more preoccupied with vagina at that time. I think this was right around the time I discovered it. And I just remember, obviously it was a big story. And I remember our teacher wheeling in the TV, back in the day, they wheeled in a TV on a crate with the VCR. Yeah. So they wheeled it in. The teacher wheeled it in and yeah, teacher willed it in and, you know, put the trial on him. We watched it and we watched them say not guilty. And I remember my teacher putting her head down, you know, and so that's all I remember. I just remember, I want to see what the adult in the room thinks. I remember the adult putting her head down. But what do you remember about that trial? Because it was, if I'm not mistaken, the first trial that was ever publicized, the entire trial, correct?
Televised
on court TV. Yeah, televised. What do you remember about that trial? You know, all the shenanigans, the glove don't fit, like all of that. What do you remember about all that?
Every day after the court ended, they had TV, they had the TV reporters, and then they had the public street reporters. You couldn't go to the barber shop, you couldn't go to the beauty shop, you couldn't go any that whole situation was talk of the town the entire trial. You would have debates in the line, you'd be pulling for Johnny, pulling for OJ, and people trying to compare, you know, see what's happening, different theories. It was just a very festive time, Doc. Be honest with you, it was very festive.
Okay, and shortly after, you know, OJ gets off. You know, everybody, you know, things are kind of back to normal, and then fast forward, he gets into this situation in Las Vegas where some guys were selling his stuff. You know, what did you think about OJ back then, man? Talk to, because I was like, come on, OJ.
You dumb son of a bitch. Why would you do some shit like that? First of all, you ain't no gangster. You big ass son of a gun. You ain't no gangster. Okay, you got them bad knees, big ass head, walking like a goddamn weeble, and you out there trying to play gangster for some old shit. I mean, I understand it's yours, but dude, anytime a gun is involved, everything gets changed. Somebody going to jail. When a gun is involved, somebody's going to jail. And they wanted you anyway? Come on, man. You was when I heard you got arrested for that, he going to jail. You got away one time, dude. Why would you play that game again? That just made your doubters, people with suspicions from the first case, even more suspicious. Then you write a book, If I Did Do It. Come on, stupid motherfucker. Dude, what are you doing? Are you just throwing rocks at the penitentiary? I'm trying to get me a room at San Quentin. I need me a room at Folsom. I need me a room someplace with some bars behind it. Why would you throw rocks at the penitentiary? Make reservations, and you got away. And this dude, he gets $25,000 a month. They can't touch, Goldman's can't touch the money, man. He get $25,000 a month from his pension. For whatever reason, they can't touch it. Okay? He has some money set aside. I guess they put it in a trust or something, and whatever it is, they can't touch it. And that's what they pissed off about right now. They're trying to figure out, now that he's gone, can they attach the trust?
Isaiah wants to know, Dusty and Uncle Zoe, what's y'all theory on who did it? If I was a bet man and I only had two choices, gun in my head, I'd say he knew somebody who did it or he was involved. That's just me. What do you say, Lonzo?
He know who did it. He know who did it. Okay. Rumor has it, people thought it might have been his son, allegedly. Okay. He know who did it, and whoever did it got close to him, and he wasn't going to tell on him. Okay.
General consensus right there. That's the general consensus, I think. Let's keep it pushing, Lonzo. R.I.P. to the Juice. I mean, unfortunately, the last part of his life was some BS, but he did give us a lot of laughs and a lot of entertainment.